call the meeting to order on 5:01. Roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Warren? Mr. Blackstock? And I will also note that Mr. Scarce and Mr. Farmer are in attendance.
Okay. All right, approval of agenda. Anything to add? That's true too. That's true. Approval of agenda. You make a motion?
I make a motion to
Second.
approve the agenda.
All in favor? Unanimous. Absent, Mr. Warren. New
Just saw
business.
him walking down the sidewalk.
Consideration of Pittsylvania County Code, Chapter 7 Ordinance Changes. I guess it's Mr. Hicks. You can take that. Item 1.
Y'all should have a copy.
Define residential construction and demolition.
That's the slide we had in the
Please.
workshop presentation. This first slide is your current definition of household solid waste. And one of
over there for these
the biggest
They
issues
have mine in like 2 seconds.
that we're having is the enforcement residential construction and or demolition waste, and we're getting a lot of people bringing sheet rock and wood and rotten stuff that's been torn down and all that.
For the record, we'll just state Mr. Warren as president. I don't know.
And it's, I mean, if a person pulls up, it's hard to find if they're doing work on their house or if they're a contractor doing work. There was one guy the other day, he's just recently got out greater than he's just doing an odd job, but he hauled like 4 loads of a barn or a construction house. There was torn out. He was getting paid to take the barn down. But we would, for cover his costs for the construction down by it. So we need to take better definition, I think, what household solid waste is. If you turn over that second page, we gave you one recommendation. That define what residential construction and or demolition waste is, it lists all normal things like lumber, plywood, bricks, blocks, carpet, patio, shingles, windows, doors. We just need a definition there. The second recommendation was a better definition for bulky waste. We've got those green boxes on each side of the sign that says that's, those boxes are there for bulky waste. And what we're considering bulky waste, I think, what the earns the portion of the ordinance defines, furniture, mattresses, box springs, appliances, things of that nature, all stuff that comes out of a person's house. So when you look at all that, what we're proposing under recommendation 3 is that we do a new definition of household solid waste, which basically says household solid waste shall mean solid waste refuse resulting from the normal operation of a household, which is routinely placed in a bag, container, or can for disposal, and shall not include any residential construction and or demolition waste, industrial waste, agricultural waste, as defined in the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality Solid Waste Management Regulation, as amended, or hazardous waste as defined herein. And I know that there has been some discussions about a person that's doing a small amount of work on their kitchen or their bathroom or something. That person should be able to, go to the dump site and dispose of that. But it's almost impossible to distinguish that person against a person that's getting paid to do the work, or a person outside of the county or stuff in. So I guess we're kind of puzzled as to how we define what these demolition and the residential construction. And the suggestion here, if you wanted to work with the person that's doing their own job or a small contractor, maybe we limit it, to the size of the trailer that the person moves in, or the back of a pickup truck maybe, or something. But as the ordinance was proposed to you at the workshop, we were not allowed before they had the bar string, and what we're working under now, we're getting everything. We don't have anything like, what somebody brings in to the community. It's like because, some of the current definition, just about everybody is claiming. That came from my house, or I'm working on my mother's house, or I'm working on my brother's house. So we need some better definition. We're getting killed out in other sites. I mean, we're getting dumpsters full of the citizens. That have a caliber chair when you get there, just don't look at the construction debris now, landlords. Still leaving it out of the box, they're leaving it, if you use things on the picture, we'll get stuff piled up, piles and piles of stuff in a lot of boxes.
If you limit the amount to a pickup truck or a 6-foot trailer, you have to limit
The amount of
frequency.
trips.
Yeah.
And then policing of that, just more stress on them.
I mean, it's one thing if attendants are there and they see this guy coming 4 times in a day, but is it okay with us if he comes once a day? Yeah, I don't know, but there's got to be something.
I like the word small trailer, because I'm not gonna go buy an $800 trailer. I got a 12-foot trailer, but I don't fill it up, and a lot of people may have a, you know what I'm saying, an 8-foot trailer. When you say 6, that's a real small one. A lot of people's got other size trailers. I don't think we're gonna make somebody go buying this. Is common sense. I mean,
Mr. Chairman, one thing I'd say about what you and Dan said is, even though you got a site attendant, and I'm just taking the district I live in, if you lived in Mount Herman Place, it's not much further distance-wise to drive to the Mount Herman site versus the Dryport site.
Right.
So you technically could bring the trailer there and have, if it's limited to one pickup and one trailer, then you turn around and go to the Dryport site with the next load. I mean,
I think, is it all, Mr. Warren?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Mr. Prescott.
The trash situation in our county is different than a lot of other counties. And the reason being is the same unique problem that we have with 4 schools instead of 1 high school. It's the sheer size of the county. And if we get too restrictive on what we will accept at our compactor sites and currently dumpster sites, we're going to have more and more off-road dumping, illegal dumping. It's a difference between us and, let's say, Campbell County, where when they want to go to the landfill, it's only no more than 20 miles, probably less than that, a lot less than that for most of the area in Lynchburg around Candy. But when you're telling somebody that they have to drive, and I'm going to use Miami County for example, down around Cody to the landfill, and they're working on a project, that's a long ways. It's people in this county that have never been to the landfill. So when we make it hard on them, we need to remember, and I understand what staff's trying to do, because we do have a problem, but we also need to remember the distance people are having to travel. It's not just air miles. We're talking about road miles. When you get up there off of 626 in your district, over around Vista Point, or back up on the Cascade area, it's a long ways to the landfill. And it's even further from Ben's district, my district, and Mr. Miller's district, because the landfill is actually located north of Chatham. So, I don't know the answer to that. I've been trying to give this a lot of thought. I wondered, well, maybe we need a site on the closer to the northern end and the southern end that we would accept these types of debris. Not all of our sites would accept them, but we may have to man 2 sites.
Just make that regional.
Yeah. I
Man,
definitely think that's a possibility.
We've talked about it.
And we talked about it. If you did that at every site, your hauling costs would go through the roof.
But you could have select super sites or regional sites or whatever that have extra services like that. I think what Richard's most concerned about, and it happened last week, It's a single man filled up a whole open top by himself.
But I thought about that, you said it come from a residential barn or somebody's house, building at their house, isn't it residential? Even though the guy was hauling it for them?
Well, it's construction, I think that's the.
But I mean, we're not a
Trash
contractor.
is what you're creating inside.
Garbage, should be garbage.
Well, we could charge, what I'm saying is, if we have that kind of, I'm sorry, Bob.
I'll be right
No,
there.
no, that's fine.
What I'm saying is, if we had these type of sites where, if we're gonna charge, we could charge, I know contractors don't wanna drive all the way to the landfill. They get the same problem, time's money. So, if what I'm wondering is if we could generate enough revenue at a couple of these sites, or in the northern end and the southern end, or highly populated areas, to pay for the attendant, if that wouldn't be something we need to look at. You could actually charge them. I think your contractors would pay it. Right now, we've got contractors, we talked about this over and over, we got contractors coming in here from North Carolina, from Danville, and even Pittsylvania County dumping into those open box sites.
I agree with what's been said. I like changing to the definition, like you said, for the household trash. But I think you're 100% right in the fact that we ought to have 2 regional sites north of Chatham that would accommodate everybody, and then 2 we already got 1 to the south, but then put 1 up near Broswell, so that it's within that 20-mile roughly radius that you're talking about, and we ought to have enough money with what we're getting from solid waste fee to be able to make this thing user-friendly for our citizens. And that ought to, I mean, you can't just look at, can I get paid enough, like you're talking about, Lincoln. I think we gotta look at the fact, how much is our cost going to go down because our regular sites aren't getting inundated with this. So you got a swap off there too. I mean, you're gonna save money on that side.
Right. I think it'll be a cost savings.
Yeah. So, but before we just wholesalely change to this and say we're not gonna take it where we are now, we gotta get those sites up and running.
I can't as a representative of the people, I understand what you're trying to do, it makes sense, but I can't vote to change these things. We just raised a household garbage fee, solid waste fee, to $120, and that's a lot of money for the citizens. And then to turn around and get so restrictive, and I've been getting complaints about, and I think we need a little training, we talked about that, to the people that are operating the compactor sites specifically, as to what people can and cannot do, because I think we're all over the
Talk
board.
about that later too.
But I can't support making wholesale changes to those regulations until we put some things in place that make it easier for the citizens. I hate, if it's one thing that's a pet peeve of mine in this county, it's trash thrown out on the road or dumped. My wife, won't go into be here half the night. The other night she rode the gate with my grandchildren down to, it's a dirt road down below me. I'm in the rural areas, all of you know. And she said, did you see where people had dumped all those tires down there on the dirt road? I said, no, I haven't saw those tires. So last night, when I got back from my little vacation, I went down there to see what was going on. And someone had just pulled over on the side of a dirt road at a creek, which is a beautiful area, and dumped probably 30 tires. And if we don't we talked about the tire issue last time, but if we don't make it easier for people to dispose of these things, it's going to continue to happen. And in economic development, the one thing that we talked about is in our retreat, one of the main things that we have going for us is the natural beauty of this county. And we don't want to impose regulations that are going to destroy that.
All right, let Mr. Scarce talk, he's been holding his head up. Go ahead, Mr. Scarce, then Mr.
Well, I
White.
just had a couple of things. One, I don't think the people in my district will like restricting the sites as far as where we're trying to redefine solid waste. I think you have to give the homeowner who's doing his own construction the ability to dump at these sites. Secondly, I think we need to make sure we get the landfill, make sure that pad is poured so it's easier even for the contractors, because I'm still getting complaints from the contractors on how they have to dump this stuff out at the landfill. We gotta make that easier for them. I think that's the first priority as far as I'm concerned, so it makes it easier for the contractors. And lastly, we need to make it easier for these attendants. I've been talking to the ones in my area, and they're having issues identifying who can dump and those kind of things. I don't know if we've got to come up with a sticker that you can put on the car. We need some way that you can readily identify a county resident as opposed to a contractor and allow them to dump. In fact, he was asking questions about shingles. Are they allowed to dump shingles right now? Okay, so that's, I mean, I don't know what the restrictions are, so we definitely got to get everything written out for those guys so they know exactly what they're telling people from our viewpoint. But to me, it's critical for the contractors. We've got to make it easier for them to get into the landfill right now, and this stuff can come later. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be happy if you turn it off, that they can't dump off solid waste, meaning they're doing a remodel, a small remodel project, and they can't dump it at these bulk sites. So
Yeah, some contractor should be paying, you know, they can say it's escape. Not that they're not, because they're going to the site, this is great.
Mr. Warren.
I'm gonna rehash what I kind of said before, is I think we can implement these policies once we've got those, let's call them regional sites for lack of a better word right now. But do we have some sites that we could define already that we possess in this area that would have the capacity to be expanded into a larger regional site so they can accept those kind of things? And I don't know all your sites in your district, Ms. Blackstock, but would you have one up there that you think could be expanded that would be in an area that would be accommodating for those folks? Or maybe Richard, is there one in Broswell?
Cascade's big enough.
Broswell's there.
Yeah.
And 622 is basically
Yeah.
there. We need to do some paving and some stuff, but we've added some capacity there that would work.
Now, just looking at from Cascade, that's on such the far outer end. It would be nice if we had something that came back this way a little bit from that, because
We may want to do three,
Yeah.
central and north and south.
well, I think we might want to do four, because I think we got to have one from, and to me, we got to have one somewhere between where we are and Gretna.
Right.
And then we gotta have somewhere up near where Elton is. I mean, we might need five. I mean, four may not be the perfect number, we might need five, but, I mean, I think that's our first thing, is get those up and running, and then we can come back and say, okay, now that we got these regional sites that's gonna accept this stuff, we're going to a policy that's more uniform about household. But that can't happen until you've got something up where you can say, this is where we're going with all this.
Well, I had a thought too, kind of piggyback on you. Why don't we accept tires at them sites? Let them pay, if they're gonna pay for the trash, let them bring it.
There's only one reason. I
Why's
can
that?
come up with cash, handling cash. It's just
So
not.
many people handle.
Well, I would think if you do a regional site like this.
Yeah.
And you
Now,
only got.
if you limit it to a few sites, it'd be easier to handle.
Yeah.
Because there again, I mean, they could take there and get disposed of their tires and pay to get rid of them.
I agree.
Because I'm like him, from Cascade to Dry Fork is a long ways, and a lot of people have never been there. I had never been there until I got on board, honestly. I never went to the landfill.
Well,
I knew about where it was at, but I never went to it.
And it shouldn't be very difficult for us to go to credit debit only, so you're
Yeah.
not handling cash
Right.
at the site.
Because you can get one of those
Yeah.
things you put on the phone and do that.
Yeah.
But,
What would you put, open top?
roll off, probably won't.
Just a rolling tops.
But, I mean, going back to what you're saying, I think they're already unhappy. I had got a call from your district, and Louis keeps the pulse at Rubens. They're not happy, Bob, I'm telling you.
I was there this morning.
Yeah, okay, you already do. And I was telling Elton.
I was there first thing this
Well-
morning, and I'll tell you one of the comments after the meeting.
Well, in the 16 years I've been on this board, I'm getting calls from people I don't get calls from. We're making a lot of people upset, and I understand that everybody here, your wife says, go dump your trash, you wanna go to the dump your trash, come home, and you can't imagine bringing something back with you, and the attendant says, this ain't right, that ain't right. I mean, who wants to go to the trash dump and come back with your trash?
Well, I think one thing.
It's unintended consequence.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's happened is, I think when we're putting our fencing up, with all due respect, I think we probably ought to paint the area first, that where we're thinking about putting it.
Make sure it works.
Yeah, and people that use it, because, I mean, just like what we experienced today, and that's an over issue now, but we look at that, and we're just taking a little time to see from the painting. If I had gone up there and saw those things painted before they started putting it up, I'd have called immediately and said, Richard, come on, the way this is going to maneuver, it's never going to work here. And it's going to create such a backlog, and we experienced it this morning. So, but I think if we do that, it gives us an opportunity to get a little feedback, or if we, in some cases, maybe we tape it off, or you rope it off, so you get some folks to say, well, this isn't going to work with the way we got to lay that. Because we're not getting engineers to lay them out, we're just looking at it and citing it and saying, this is where we're going to lay it out.
I think Blair's on 29 Business is the only site that don't have fencing. Well, all the other sites are already fenced, just with gates.
Mr. Blackstock.
On our regional sites, especially if we're going to set those up specifically, I might be getting a cart before the horse, but if we set them up to accept tires or debris from construction companies and so forth, we don't have to have currently what we want. We're trying to locate these compactor sites on main roads, and normally the property is expensive. But we don't need to locate these right on 29 or 40 or 58 or 41. If we can buy property, the county could. You could buy 3 or 4 acres. I know in my area, maybe it's a little pricier than y'all's area, but maybe it's not choice property, but it's nice and level. It wouldn't cost us so much, and generate income from the and it would keep the stuff off the side of the road. It would provide the contractor somewhere to go. And tires are a terrible problem over. I'm in a rural area between. We call it the Renan Road, but from my house back way to Gretna, I saw tires at 2 places. One tire that somebody threw over on the side of the road. I know what they did. They didn't want to pay the fee when they went to get new tires, so they brought the tires home. And then between Gretna and Renan, where nobody lives, they'd stop and throw one out here, and then go to the next place and throw another one out. And if we made it more convenient. I even thought about stopping myself and picking the tire up because I hate trash. But I thought, I'm not going to the landfill anytime soon. I don't think I am. Yeah, and I can't. If I carry it over to Grit, you're gonna have me. I'll be in trouble. You got a camper. I've already had that issue with some of my constituents. So what I'm getting at is, I think we all agree we've got to make it easier for the citizens.
Distance definitely is the problem.
I think I hear where everybody's going. I think we're not going to be able to address it today. I think that's a good idea. But one thing I would like us as a committee to do today, because I'm getting calls, I guess I'm the model when I'm getting calls. A lot of people feel like the attendants are harassing them instead of helping them. And I've noticed when you pull up, they're there. What are you throwing away? And a lot of people don't like it. I mean, I'm getting calls, but they want to feel comfortable going there. They don't want to feel harassed. I guess them guys need to back off a little bit and watch. And if they're doing something illegal, one thing, but I mean, they sit there and watch you throw bag by bag or whatever, and some people feel intimidated. And we talked about the no bag requirement. A lot of people do not want to put that garbage in a bag. They want to throw it in the truck, whether it be in a cardboard box or whatever. I think I mentioned this to y'all. They made a guy break his boxes down and throw them in the compactor. And he was like, that don't make any sense. It's a compactor. I mean, I think we need to back off a little bit on what we're doing, because we're going to get unintended consequences. I'm telling you, people are getting mad about this stuff, and I can see it. And a lot of people don't understand what can be thrown away, what cannot be thrown. When I call it household things, I guess that's anything else. Your kid's toy that's broke, your trash, your pet bags, your empty sacks, as we said. I mean, people, I guess the attendants need to realize, you know, we can't just throw this at people all at one time, because we got to use common sense. A lot of people are getting upset about this, and I mean, it's getting to the point. It's getting out of hand. I mean, we may have great intentions and cut back, but I think we need to keep the constituents in mind. And a lot of them feel like, well, I'm paying $120 a year now, and they don't want to go to the dumpster and the rest. Because, I mean, when any of us go to the dumpster, what do you want to do? You throw your trash away and get in the car and leave. You don't want to sit there and feel like you're being harassed of what you're throwing away. And that, I'm just echoing what I've heard from people. And I'm sure as y'all get these sites, you're going to start hearing these same exact things.
What education have we done with the new site attendants when we hire? I mean, are we having
And we've had one training session with them before they open up, and it's usually, it took about an hour at a time. One of the biggest things we're trying to get people to do is to stop throwing bag trash in the open top boxes, so they're looking at what you're throwing away, because they want the bag trash over in the compactor.
But I mean, it's been a month or so at my site, I think.
Since it's bad, it needs to go, to the compactor.
I think the biggest thing, as a committee, I'd like to see come out here today is just ease off on, make them feel welcome. I mean, the people own this county, they own the trash site, they pay the taxes as constituents, and I want them to feel comfortable coming there and say, hey, this is where I'm supposed to, and make them take pride in it. But I feel like we're limiting them to what they just don't feel comfortable. That's what I'm hearing today, and I can understand. I mean, you go up there and these guys come running out with these orange vests. What are you doing? What you got? What are you throwing away? And I think in some instances they're wrong. I mean, the cardboard boxes and the bags, I mean, they would agree that that's not their intent. I think we need to go talk to these guys and tell them to ease off on what they're doing, because I think they're wrong with some of that stuff. And I don't think they're being vindictive or mean, as I told you. I don't think they understand. I think they're going overboard because they want to do a good job. They don't know. I don't think they really know what's allowed when they can say.
See, our ordinance says, if you turn over to the back page, it says all garbage should be wrapped, paid for single material, placed in plastic disposal bags, and it's our ordinance says there's to be bags for dispose of it.
We don't agree.
Well, I think that needs to be changed then, because I mean, if I got a bunch of trash, I'll throw in a big box at Christmas time. You get a big box, that's the one I picked. I stuff it in there and go through the box.
You've got me coming over on 41, leaving my dumpster payment.
No, I mean, mine are 620, but this compactor will smash anything they got. And the guy that called me, he's never complained about nothing. He was upset. He said, that guy made me sit there and break all them boxes down, throw them in the dumpster, and then you even agree they're not supposed to have to do that. I mean, he was intimidated and he was embarrassed, I'm sitting there, because he didn't want to bring them back home, so he sat there and spent about 20 minutes breaking the boxes down.
Well, it sounds like maybe we need some customer service training.
It's called a method of delivery.
Exactly.
It's like, I have to go back to what I know, and I know inmates in jails and prisons. Two officers can go to a person, an inmate, and tell them the exact same thing, but it's a delivery, the way you deliver it. And, what we need to realize is, I was on this board for several years before I realized that you had to put trash in a plastic bag to put it in that dumpster. I've been living here my whole life, except for the period of time that I was in the military. I didn't know that. I don't think a lot of our citizens know that. It's never been enforced. Nobody was over there.
And it's probably too stringent.
And it doesn't make sense either. I mean, there's certain things like cardboard boxes. Why would you put a cardboard box in a plastic bag? That doesn't make sense. Or if you had a bunch of feed bags.
Why would you put them in a plastic bag?
Yeah, you could stuff them all in one bag. That's what and take them to the dump. Not only that, but I would think that it would decompose a lot quicker, not in a plastic bag.
I suspect where this ordinance came from, when you had people dumping in the open top boxes, if they brought it loose, and it's just dumped in the big boxes. We started, driving it down the road, we had stuff blowing out all over, from the side of the trucks and everything. So I suspect this, was to keep everything bagged, so that you're not scattering stuff up there.
Well, what's the consensus of the committee? I think we're all on the same page. Do y'all want to see, ease up on restrictions gradually as we get these sites, the bigger sites ready? I think we get an appearance of going overboard on this stuff.
I would like to
too much too soon.
I'd like to direct staff to bring them back in for some more training, some customer service training, and review the ordinance and implement some common sense.
Magic word.
Yeah, and
You know,
because we don't need to go, we don't want to delete the ordinance, because we don't want to do that until we're ready to change it. Let's don't make multiple changes, let's just make, when we get ready, let's make one.
Can I ask?
Yes, sir.
I had a suggestion. I think because we, the board members, we answer directly to the citizens. I mean, we are out there, we're at church and ball games and people are upset. I would like to see, for staff to develop a training plan and bring it back to us and let us review it so we know what's in it before you go to staff. And we review the plans, like it addresses the issue of cardboard boxes or with trash bags. And before you train staff with it, you come back to us and let us look at it for our input, and then train staff. Before we implement any of these changes, unless it's something that's just a terrible emergency, and I haven't saw anything here, I think I would like personally to see us look at the regional two or three or whatever makes sense. I understand that more of the population is in Southern Indian County, but I also understand that I like how nice my community live. I like living in the country, and I don't like trash on the side of the road. But we look at some regional sites, and you come back to the committee or the board and make some proposals to us. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's other counties that have dealt with this.
I wholeheartedly agree that that's a good approach. Can we direct staff, though, to go and have a general conversation with them now?
Yes.
To ease off, to say, look, we want to be customer friendly,
Yes.
it's, let's, if somebody's abusing, then certainly we won't approach them, but, we don't need to be police and everybody that gets here, what they're getting out of their car.
Well, we did the.
If you see somebody with a plastic
Right.
bag that's going in an open site,
Right.
it's simple, walk up and say, hey, we're trying to get the sites better and more efficient. In the future, if you don't mind, when you got a bag garbage, if you put it over here, and
Right.
it's same thing.
And some people don't understand the reasoning for it. I mean,
Yeah.
we think they do, but they don't. They don't understand that one is a compactor and one is just an open box, and it costs us a lot of money, the open box, to haul it over there because it's not been crushed. But then, we gotta use some common sense too, because if we tell them they gotta break down boxes, when you throw a box over there and then compactor hits it, the box is crushed. I would prefer to see the cardboard boxes, recycled.
We hope they would.
We hope to, I know we hope to get to that point sometime.
But I mean, when we started this conversation, we raised the fee because of the shortfall in funding for the landfill. That's what we done. We started manning the sites and started closing the gate. We done, and that's nothing wrong with that. And we got rid of the illegal dumping contract. But I think the consequence that I didn't know we were going to do, we're making it tough on the people, and that's where the tires hit the road. That they're not happy with that. I mean, I think at the same time we did all these things to improve it. I think that's an unintended consequence that we're doing that. Because, I mean, it's just getting worse. I'm hearing more and more. They're not happy. I mean, people, and that's our job, to make people happy. I think the common sense Bob said is the key word. I mean, these guys, if they see gross abuse or somebody's doing something wrong, that's fine. I don't think anybody wants to get away with that. But as far as common sense, guy throws bags in there, cardboard box, that's common sense.
If you
guy,
walked
he's
up-
dumping his trash.
If you walked up to me, and just like Elton said, I didn't know until I was on the board that bag trash, all of it had to be bagged, it didn't have to be in the cardboard. But if you walked up to me and I threw a bag into an open container, and you said, listen, if you didn't mind, next time if y'all would put those in this, we're doing this because we're trying to save the taxpayers money. It's much more efficient to do it here than there. I'd say, hey, no problem. I'll put them away if you think it's gonna save me from getting another tax increase.
Right. I guess I don't have a lot of compactor sites in my district, so I'm probably not as familiar with the site attendance. Honestly, I haven't seen one myself, nor have I gotten their phone calls about it. How many do we have staff?
3.
3 people or 3 sites?
There's 3,
That's for the people.
4 attendants each, so 12.
12. Okay. So what I'm getting at, I guess, if we are gonna, and I agree, I think the original sites are the way to go. I really do, because I think our current sites, we all are they're too small. We wanna make the future ones larger. This will give us opportunity to add the different amenities. But I'm concerned on adding more staff. It's my first thing. And I know we will need to police it. And my fear is, how are we gonna police the construction users who are coming in? And there's gonna have to be a full-time person there. Like I said, either with cash or with debit. But if we keep adding those, that's adding full-time.
Our plan from the beginning is every site will be gated and staffed. Now, adding contractor debris to our system is not designed. It's designed for household trash. So right now, there is no solution in the mix to where a contractor can get rid of commercial debris, which I think it comes up to one of the next items, which is most of the counties, if not all of them, that touch us, require the contractors to get their own trash service when they're building a house or doing something over a certain threshold of construction activity. And I don't know what that is, if it's a project over $40,000 or a project that requires a permit over $500, and I don't know what that is, but there is a threshold where you bring your own box to the site. And that's probably the best solution long-term for contractors. I think we can easily make accommodations or reasonable accommodations for Mr. Scarce is ripping out a bathroom and doing it himself. I think we can do that. But when you're talking about getting Joe Blow, I build houses, I don't think we'll ever get that.
Mr. Warren?
I just think we need to keep in mind a couple of things. We felt like we could man those sites and we would still be financially good with the revenue we're generating. And that theory was before we got the new engineers and realized we doubled the life of the landfill. So we should have the assets to do this.
And speed up construction of regional sites.
Yes.
That's the great consequence of this new engineer telling us different ways to do things. So we can get more infrastructure built more quickly.
And see, we're just doing 5 sites because we wanted to go 6 months to a year on those 5 sites when we come back. They said,
So we can learn our lessons.
You know, accomplish by closing these 5 sites. Is it worth doing 3 other sites or do we?
Well, Tim and I really appreciate you using us as guinea pigs.
Yeah. We catch it, all of y'all will catch it when it gets to you, believe it. But I think we've covered, we pretty well covered A, B, and C, all items in A, that, you got a question, maybe, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, I work for you guys now, remember? I'm the public information officer for solid waste. So you guys are talking about these common sense issues and how the people don't understand what they need to do at the sites. That was part of the attendant's job, is to tell people what they're supposed to be doing, which I think is maybe why they're being so aggressive, because they know that a lot of people don't know what they're supposed to be doing. But what can we do to make it easier for the citizens to know what they're supposed to be doing? Because we've got it in the newspaper, we've got the handouts at every site.
Well, I think we answered it. I think just common sense when these people are there and realize they're there to dump their trash, nothing more, nothing less, and they don't want to feel harassed. So
Well, yeah, but
if you see a violation that they know is a violation, then you could go up like Bob did in a nice way and say, look, could you throw that bag in here next time, or you not throw that? You got to ease into this thing. It's like we went from 0 to 20 instantly. I think it's going to take time.
So what we can do, we've done an initial training at these 3 sites. Now we go back 4 weeks later,
Which
whatever,
part,
and say, now what have you been experiencing we didn't cover? And by the way, here's some things we've thought about. Richard and I put together a very rudimentary do's and don'ts. Do ask them if they like to recycle. Don't make them. Do not let them put full boxes in the open top. Do let them do it in the compactor. You know what I mean? So we're trying to give them some better instruction.
Only thing I will say about that is, with some explanation to why we want you to put the full box in the compactor site
Right.
versus the other, that it's
Line
all
matters.
about cost savings.
Yes, line matters.
That benefits them. If you, I think that's important to explain to them why you want it done that way.
And I'm talking about do's and don'ts for excited attendance.
Yeah, I know.
Just smack on the.
And I mean, Richard, since me and Bob are the two, and now Ron's coming on, I think this would be something you should go ahead and do before the next meeting and explain to them, because I know that's a consensus of the board, that they need to ease off, because it's getting worse by the day.
I'd like to offer a motion. I'd like to make a motion that this committee direct staff to develop a training plan, a draft training plan, addressing the issues that we've discussed today, along with any issues that were brought back from the attendants and staff, and bring that training plan back to this committee for our input.
Thank you, Ron. Is Bob on the screen?
Yes.
You.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Show up to all of them.
Yeah.
But
That's my motion.
could you get that by the next meeting, by the board meeting possibly? That's what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
We can have the outlines there.
Or maybe send us an email before then, we could take action.
We don't even need to have a committee meeting. You can put the thing together and then send it to us by
Right.
email and let us look at it, then we can discuss it in a work session.
Do we have a second on the motion? I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Warren, who's joined the meeting. All right. All right, is it
Did you have anything
discussion?
else,
I mean,
Well,
What was the email that came out? I think there's been some lettering and some painting. What was the, like, the big A?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I don't have one of the cards in here, but the
Is that part of the
A-
literature?
Yeah, the literature has an A, you do this, B, you do that, and then on the sign says A, household, B, bulky
Because
waste.
when Kaylee first came up and said, basically you're asking us, what can we do better?
Yeah, what can we do to help
Because you're
the
acting like you're,
citizens know what they're
right,
talking
you're putting a good
about?
effort
But,
trying to do this X, Y, Z.
you know.
Do we do a color code system? Paint the boxes blue, paint these boxes red, paint these boxes yellow. I'm just trying to think, simplify it.
That's exactly what the A
That
and
was
B
what the A and B
Okay.
was for.
And we're still growing into the A and B system,
Defining.
but that is absolutely what we're talking about.
Can you repeat your motion?
I'll shorten it up this time.
Just-
I'll make a
just-
motion.
just give me
We
the
direct
direction.
the staff to develop a training plan for our solid waste site attendants, and bring that plan back to the board or committee for our input before what's actually the training is held.
and I think we also, we don't guess we have a motion, but expand on, get these large regional sites, I guess, get the direction.
I'll make a
down.
motion to that,
Or you just want to add that to your motion?
Yeah, I'll make a second.
All right, okay. All right, all in favor of the first original motion? All right, unanimous? All right, Mr. Blackstock.
Bob, you want to take some?
I make the motion that we authorize and encourage staff to start with working on designing regional sites and looking at possible land that we could secure for those sites. And a plan to build those sites with some timelines on when we could do them and when they would be complete.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that one? All right, all in favor? It's unanimous. You gonna go talk to these people, Richard, about what we discussed, because like I said, that'll help kind of ease things down. Because you get through the mix too, David, just so you know, they're zeroing back on you. They says that guy come, all this stuff started, so they're back on that one. Just let you know. All right, item B, discussion, consider accepting tires at landfill. You want that, Mr. Snowman, or do you want that, Mr. Hicks? You want that?
We talked about that, you know, at the workshop, we do have people call and ask them to dispose of tires, or tell them they can't put them in the green boxes, they're not supposed to put them in the compact sites. I guess, you know, we charge a fee, which, would the board be acceptable to us charging a fee?
I thought I saw somewhere that it was $4, but how much are private companies willing to pick them up from the county?
It should be $3. That's what everybody's getting,
I think you
$3.
said-
Yeah, that's what, and that's with an increase.
Yeah.
It went to $3 is what I'm paying, that's what
What do we
everybody.
pay to dispose? We send them
It was
all.
less.
Yeah, and $3 per tire, we'd be, we'd definitely be covering our costs.
They also discovered we have a splitter over there. They didn't know him. We can, actually, he said if we can get it operational, split the
Does that
tires.
work?
in landfill.
I don't know if it works last time,
I
or
don't
it did
think
not
it
work.
works right now.
We just cut them, it just basically splits them in half.
But it's
I
just
know we use
cheap if we
wood
send
splitters
it off.
to do it.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just-
but what we're talking about is not throwing them in the landfill, is the company
Send
comes
them
and picks
off,
them up
yeah.
in the
And
county.
we pile them on
ship
the
them
side.
all.
I mean, not, I
Right.
mean, pay for somebody.
We
to take
ship them all
back.
once we get a container full.
All right,
And you don't have to split those.
I think it's a good idea, because I told him all the businesses in the county would bring them there
Okay,
and do it.
I make a motion that we institute a fee to accept tires at the landfill for a fee of $3
Per tire.
per tire.
Second.
All right, second. Discussion, does this include commercial, so businesses can load them and bring them over there and use? Because that way they do it in the county, because I'm paying people out of Greensboro, gonna get mine, I just load my trailer whenever I get a load and bring them over there. And they won't end up where Elton was talking about, hopefully.
Grab that tire.
Yeah, take them to the landfill, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, now they can.
I think the others creek.
They don't, I know.
Yeah, they have hundreds of tires a week.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, or you want to?
I just, well, I got just that particular point, I don't wanna overload the landfill, and we find out that it's really costing $350 or something, and then we start having 400 or 500 tires showing up over there in a week's time. Do we need to take a look at this first?
I think our staff started looking at it, we can cover our costs then.
Can you handle it? I know you can cover your costs, but what I'm saying is, can you handle that many tires coming in?
I mean, it's a whole lot easier handling that way than it is, if the trash gets dumped, we have to pick them out of the trash.
How about add it to it, you gotta be a resident or business of Pittsylvania County, that might be safer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You wanna add that to your motion, Mr. Moore?
Yes, sir.
That may be safer bet there, we don't want to come, because we're cheaper than the next county
You gotta be a resident or
business.
in Pennsylvania County.
Okay.
What you gonna do, I assume, it comes out of this committee, and we'll put it on the agenda for the next board meeting. I'll give you time to draft up something.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna change your second there?
Fine.
Here,
I think we just basically direct them to give them $3 fee, they bring it back to you.
All in favor? Unanimous. All right, item C, consider requiring dumpsters for certain residential projects. I think we
New
discussed this.
construction, we definitely think they ought to have a dumpster. If you're building a house, you should have a dumpster on the site that gets all the time.
There's one thing that I thought about, we've always done historically in the past, so you don't get them for it. I'd like to go through, get the Builders Association's opinion on this. Because I know in the past, anytime you did anything to concern construction, and you went out, I mean, they may be fine with it, I would like, at least like them to give input, because that's a huge organization in the county. Matter of fact, in his district, that's where most of them live at, I'm sure you don't want to surprise them, I think they ought to be involved in the
Well,
conversation.
I think we ought to go to them and say, we're gonna institute this, what's a fair amount?
Right.
That, for the
Threshold,
threshold.
yeah.
For the threshold.
Right, and that includes them and get them on board,
Yeah.
because, I mean, they may actually like the idea, because they'll add it into the cost of the home, they don't have to haul the debris, or the dumpsters there and then get rid of it, they may actually like that idea in the end.
I'll give you one that I thought about this too, is we could contract with a private company to provide these things and build into the fee for the license.
For the
building
permit.
Mhm. I think maybe some other localities do that. But I don't wanna do anything until we talk to the contractors. I think we need to get their input.
Right. And I think that kind of like we say about zoning, I always tell everybody about zoning, go talk to your neighbors, and don't surprise them, most of the time they're on board, once they figure out what you're doing, they're okay, but that surprise element gets them. I don't think you wanna throw this out there as a requirement with them guys not knowing anything about it, so. I think
Does anybody know if they meet regularly on buildings?
Well, I know Skip Bob could probably find out who you actually contact.
You might wanna set up a meeting, because I know the ones over my end probably are not members of the association, and especially the smaller ones, but you have a meeting and listen to their concerns.
That's a good idea.
That could be something we could advertise in the paper, that we want to talk to the contractor, use Axon or something, or
Okay, is that
Skip
good?
and Billy probably could get out anybody in the county.
That's right. So is that we'll just do consensus on that, just set the meeting up. We can do that. We're kind of knocking them out quick, because we've kind of overlapped all our discussions on all this stuff. Discussion, now this one we hadn't talked about, this item D, discussion to consider allowance of out-of-county solid waste usage fee.
We've had one family call us and say they don't mind paying the fee, they just want to be able to use our facility because they live right across the line, and, it's not our facility, it's significantly closer than they had to go to with their own account. I guess our question is, do you want to charge, a separate fee someone does stay that close to the line?
There's a huge development called Water's Edge that
I guess we need to know which, on this particular one, what staff's recommendation is, or what you think.
we've talked about double the rate. We don't think it should be the same because it's our citizens' facility. You're not a taxpayer here, you're coming in and using ours. And it's also customary, like I said, it's not uncustomary for cities to charge 2 or 2.5 times the water rate if you don't live in the city. So we would suggest a minimum double. And we don't mind. It's great opportunity.
You would have to give them an ID card. They'll have to.
Yeah,
We
special
will.
color bags.
Yeah, they'll have to.
Absolutely, we'll have to do something.
They'll have to have something to ID it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first come up and talk to me about this, I don't really have a problem, because like he said, if they live 5 minutes from the county or 30 minutes from when they got, I didn't have a problem with that. I don't think that would be a large issue, because most people's gonna use the site near their home. But like he said, at the lake or somewhere, as long as they're paying for it, that's the main thing.
I think they're gonna use it anyway, so we might.
Right.
Exactly.
Water's Edge ain't gonna blink at $20 a month.
That's what I'm saying, but exactly what Bob said, they're probably using it anyway. This is a way to get revenue. And then plus our attendants can identify better, are they from Pittsylvania County this trash?
Plus, we need to remember that we actually need to get our tonnage up to be completely efficient. So taking trash,
Taking trash is not a bad thing as long as it's being paid.
as long as it's being paid. That's right.
I'm all for it. I would just say that I think probably it should be instead of 120, maybe 240.
That's what we said.
Which we said they would double it.
Yeah.
Out of state, out of county.
It's gonna be the same thing as the honor system, though. We still, because we have no identification.
No, but we-
It'll take time, a long time.
We're gonna get some people that are gonna pay for a lot of people.
But in the
We
end,
said a lot of people are coming anyway.
in the end, we would rather for that trash to be in the dumpster or the compactor than on the side of the road.
It's kind of like, speed limit is 55, you're not gonna go 80, you might go 60. At least it'll help. It may never solve the problem, but it'll help. I mean. All right. Is that right? We probably need that.
Killing us on his side, but then they got stickers on their car.
Oh, we cut a ton of that down up there.
Yeah, we cut a lot of that out. We're telling them, no, this is Pittsylvania County road.
Well, going back to what Ben said too, they say 4 tons per week, is that correct? In disposal, that we would get from North Carolina and Henry County. So you're talking about an attendant, that more than pays for an attendant with that kind of savings of volumes.
Henry County's closed on Sundays, so they were coming over here on Sundays.
Mr. Warren?
Mr. Chairman, as we start this process, would be, especially all of our outer edge areas that are near the borderlines, our attendants that are at any of those sites should be given applications. So if they see somebody pull in from North Carolina, say, look, we'll be happy if you bring your trash, but you've got to send in this application and your fee. And then you'll be eligible to come here, especially up in the Water's Edge area.
Well, I didn't live in Water's Edge, but I had a place up there. I can tell you, it's a lot of people from North Carolina, specifically Reedsville, that own places up there on 626. And so when they leave on Sundays, they take their trash by that compactor site. But they're paying a fee. If they own, because they're gonna be paying that $120 fee, even though they don't live in a county, they are paying that fee to drop off that trash. The other thing is, if you've got weekly rentals up there, we want that trash in the dumpster, we don't want it on the side of the road.
Those people that rent that property up there, does most of those homes come with a cleaning crew, like you see at other?
Some do, depends, you got all kinds of things. Yeah.
Okay.
But the owner's having to pay the fee. They're paying $120.
Right.
There's several trailer parks up there on the water. But, they're supposed to be paying a fee for each site as a trailer.
Unless they get a.
Private
donation.
donation.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need a motion on that, or y'all just
So-
work on that and develop it?
What did we decide on tires? I'm sorry about that. We wanted
$3.
$3 fee,
Yeah.
and now we're talking about a double this.
And that was just
I mean,
business and households in Pittsylvania
We
County?
can, I don't know what your appetite is right now, but I mean, this could go on the consent agenda the next.
Does it
Because
fee,
they're fees.
I'm sorry, fee,
Well,
does that fee
we're gonna have to change our ordinance, because right now we talk about all trash is only accepted by county residents. We have language about tires. So I think our best bet would be, we have 3 weeks to either bring back a revised ordinance to this group or the board at the work session. Then you gotta have a public hearing. And so probably the first time we could implement serious changes would be at a December meeting, I would imagine, realistically.
The only serious change we talked about at this point, though, was the tire.
Right.
Because we're saying that right now, we wanted to look at the regional thing before we make any major
Right.
changes either.
I mean, we've talked about bag trash today, right? We have, in our ordinance, it says bagged or wrapped trash. Yeah, I mean, we can certainly put something together for you quickly.
But I think we also said we're gonna back off the
Sure.
enforcement at this particular time till we get the ordinance right.
Right.
Ease off, because a lot of people don't know, and like he said, they've never enforced that.
Yeah.
As we develop the plan, I think we're just gonna do common sense.
I don't think we ought to, I don't think we ought to be rushing to change ordinances like that.
Right.
I understand you're an attorney.
Yeah.
But for years, that wasn't enforced anyway.
Right.
Well, can we just add the tire to the existing?
I'm reading about the tires now. Don't we have it, see, look, we already have in here, section 17-4E, shredded or split tires may be disposed of in the county landfill at a rate annually set by the board of supervisors. Unsplit or unshredded tires will not be accepted. That totally contradicts what we're planning to do, is accept tires for $3.
So we have to amend that.
Yeah, store
Okay,
them.
that's simple, we'll amend that section.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then as we develop the master plan as.
It says we can set the fee, but before we were only taking split
Right.
tires.
Right.
Now we're willing to take a whole tire, so we just wanted to amend it
Yeah.
to say tire.
If you want to implement that immediately, if you get a motion from this board, we have plenty of time to advertise
Well,
this.
we already have.
Okay, we can advertise this, have a public hearing, and act on just the tires
Right.
in November, no problems. We got 3 weeks, you gotta advertise it 2 consecutive weeks.
I think you made a motion.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
All right, I'll tell you,
So by the same premise,
Go back.
do the out-of-county trash at the same time? That seems really easy.
out of county
Just say
treasurers.
no out-of-county trash unless they pay the annual fee as prescribed and say annually golf course.
Yeah,
We just make another amendment.
Yeah, that's fine. It's more efficient to do, more change at the same time, because you only pay the advertising fee at the newspaper, which is getting increasingly expensive one time. So if you want us to do the tire change, ordinance change, and out-of-county trash,
Forward, okay?
yeah,
Committee of-
we can do that in November, no problem. And
Should we go ahead and get rid of the bag trash at the same time?
we can get rid of the bag trash too. if you
We
want.
all agree the bag trash makes sense.
Okay, that sounds good too.
It makes sense.
Get that
Three
one out.
amendments, good amendment.
I mean, Christmas time, you get a big box or something, I'm
Yeah.
jamming everything in a
That's what I
cardboard
do.
box.
That's exactly what I do, I'm still.
Yeah. All right, we can do that.
I'll wait till it goes to the restroom.
Don't bring it over my side.
Yeah, I saw pictures of yours, you get a ton of them.
We'll make the changes. I'll push this out by email to the board to make sure your eyeball is what you thought. Once everybody says it's cool, Carolyn can advertise it, we can have action on it at the November meeting.
You just have to get it out, by Friday.
This
Because I have
Friday?
to give it to the newspaper by Monday.
All right, we can do that, so that's not a big deal.
All right, is everybody good with what we got so far? All right, last but not least, solid waste disposal fee billing schedule update.
I think we're gonna turn that over to Vince.
That's what I was just thinking, Mr. Shorter.
I can do the report. Sometime between November 9th and November 15th, the bills will go out. That's right.
We're gonna start spooling on Friday.
Now, for clarification, because I had somebody ask me this, when is the deadline to pay this first initial? What did you end up with?
It's printed December 20th on the bill, but of course, you all voted to not implement any penalty or interest ever on the bill. So technically, they have forever. But the problem is, if they still own property on January 1st in the county, and they generate a 2019 bill, and that due date hits June 20th, and they have not paid 2018 bill, any money towards solid waste they pay is gonna go to the 2018 bill, then the 2019 will get penalty and interest, because we always apply the payment to the oldest bill. So that's kind of a floating question. On the 2018 bill, if they just sold their property before the end of the year, move out, will they ever get penalty and interest? No. But if they are still here 2019 and get a new bill, then yeah, technically the 18 is never gonna have penalty and interest. But once they ever pay us any money, it's gonna go toward the 18 bill, and the 2019 is gonna fall delinquent, and they will get it. So it's gonna be a little confusing for some of the folks that don't get it paid in full before they need to make a payment on their 2019 bill.
So they're gonna get a bill in the next week or so, that's gonna be
2 weeks.
$120.
Correct.
And then in January,
With the due date of December 20th.
right, I got that.
Right. And then, so January 1st, Shirley's gonna use that date of whoever is on deed of record January 1st to start generating 2019 bills, but they won't be due until June 20th. You follow me there?
Got a long time to pay that one.
Yeah.
Half of it?
Half of it, 60.
And I
So-
thought we made a motion or some worded on this first bill that goes out. It may say it's due 1/20, but you have until June 30th of 19 to pay it.
Without
Because we didn't want it to
Without
hit.
penalty.
Right.
Well, you kind of technically have forever.
But
We
will
said
that,
June 30th.
will that be stated though, that they know that option? That the
Well,
120
I don't
is not
ever
due?
remember saying forever without penalty. I remember saying till June 30th.
Okay. Well, we can certainly print that on the
That's,
base.
I
I
think
think
that's
that's
a
a better way to do it.
Yeah, I
We
mean-
were trying to soft pedal it in versus.
Here's what the language of 17-15 currently says. It says, and I'm skipping some stuff, but it says, for FY 2018-19, unless exempted, households assessed solid waste disposal fee shall pay the fee no later than the 20th day of December. For FY 2018-19 only, no late penalty and interest shall accrue on the solid waste disposal fee. For all fiscal years after FY 2018-19, unless exempted, the solid waste fee shall be billed twice annually, and all households assessed the fee shall pay the fee no later than the 20th of June, the 20th of December annually. So for the first one,
It's forever.
we soft pedaled it.
Sounds like to me you goofed up.
Yeah, that's not what we voted on.
Well,
That's not the way we understood it when it went down.
We were gonna give them an extra 6 months till June.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I created the bills according to the ordinance. The ordinance says basically there's no penalty and interest forever.
I didn't mean,
So-
I'm not trying to tell you.
Yeah, no.
But it's not, we didn't say that. We said
That
it was
needs
June
to
30th.
be, that needs to be fixed in the November meeting.
Okay.
So you want the deadline to be the 30th of June
Yeah.
for the 2018. Okay.
All right, we can fix that.
I'm not trying to split hairs, but it should be the 30th or the 20th?
But see, this is the problem. I'm gonna be sending bills out before you guys are gonna have a chance to vote on this. So legally, can I send a bill out saying one thing when it's not the code
I
and
think
what?
it's already what we voted. Can you pull that back up, David?
Yeah, we'll look at the
Bob,
minutes, we'll give you some guidance.
I think it's in the minutes, y'all.
I think it is too. If it's in the minutes, then you can correct it without another vote. Is that correct?
There's certain things called clarify areas. We'll get you some
Okay.
information about that.
I'm like him. I thought.
I'll need clarification of that, so.
Okay.
Actually, it was your idea, but I thought that was your idea, that we all like to go till June, when you come in and tell us.
I thought that you just said though that the bills that you have currently are ready to go.
I do have samples, but I can make corrections
Wait a minute.
until I.
But it says like you were gonna send out, it said it was due December the
20th.
20th. And so we don't have anything else.
No
on
mention
there.
of it.
Yeah, so why not send that out and then we can correct this between now and June 30th?
Right.
All we're saying is that we're gonna let them ride till June 30th to pay the first year's bill.
So do you want me to put on this bill typically, and we just deleted it off of this bill because it was, according to the ordinance, was non-applicable. But typically on our bills, we say penalty will begin on the day after December 20th. Interest will begin after December 20th. You want us to put on this solid waste bill, penalty will begin on July 1st?
Yes.
And interest will begin accruing on this bill July 1st?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, okay, good. We got that solved.
So we can leave the due date as December 20th,
Right.
And then the people can see that penalty and
Right.
interest is gonna be applicable July 1.
Right,
Okay.
that's what we said, that gives them time to.
Dave, are you comfortable with that as our legal?
Yeah, I'm confident.
Okay. All right.
When does when's the following year bill go out? I see you start working on it in January, or looking into, when will that go out? Springtime?
Well, of course, we have to wait till the budget
Sure,
is
sure.
resolved to set rates.
So May.
And then Shirley will get me the bills, and typically May, we send those out with a due date of June 20th.
And this is obviously the only time they're gonna hit.
And that'll be for $60 and then 60 more to you in the second.
Correct.
But we do, I mean, we could pay the 120 if we wanted to,
Right.
no problem.
Just like-
And we've already had people do that.
Just like our taxes, we
Yeah.
pay them all. some
Yeah.
of us pay-
We've already had people pay, they won't even get a bill, they've already prepaid us.
All right. I think we had a good meeting, good discussion. I think we got a lot of the issues out. Main thing, recapping, Richard, you gonna go talk to those attendants and get that straight? You know where we're at?
Come up with a training.
I mean, immediately, what we're gonna do, ease off, so me and Bob don't get all the calls. I wanna feel comfortable.
Yeah, very simple cheat sheet.
Let's see. Oh, one more thing, did you check on that fire lane around the landfill?
We've got one tree that has a portion of the fire lane blocked.
Okay.
They can enter it either way.
Okay,
On either
so you
side.
can
There's two
access
ways
it,
to get to it.
is it not tore up so bad, I mean, you get around?
There's
Okay.
two ways to get to it.
Okay, all right, I got it. I just wanted to address that before I get addressed. All right, any more things from committee members, discussions? All right, yeah, Ben, you got anything?
No, sir.
Okay, David, Richards, Greg? That it? All right.